If you live in northern Indiana, you may have seen signs for a Shirley Heinze Park in your neighborhood. Have you ever wondered, who is Shirley Heinze? Well, we did, and exploring we went.
Dr. Shirley Heinze was an amazing person lost too soon. She was born in Ohio, and she and her brother Walter were the children of Walter and Dorothy Heinze. They moved a lot, and that was probably because her dad was a salesman.
Some of the places the family lived were Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, Massachusetts, and Washington, D.C.
And Shirley earned multiple degrees at different colleges, possibly due to the moves. Wayne State University, Cornell University, and the University of Chicago. She received a PhD in Human Development at the University of Chicago.
After completing her doctorate, she taught at the University of Illinois at Chicago. While teaching, she also maintained a private psychology practice where many of her patients were children.
And Shirley Heinze ended up moving to Ogden Dunes in Indiana and finally found the place that she felt most at home. She devoted her free time to enjoying and studying the nature of the dunes. She was an advocate for land conservation and an enthusiastic outdoors woman. She was active in the fight to save Indiana dunes, and her passions were hiking, sailing on Lake Michigan, taking photographs, and just being outside. She inspired people to fulfill their dreams and was a kind and generous person.
Unfortunately, Shirley died in 1978 at the age of 51 of lymphoma.
And Dr. Shirley Heinze is buried in the tiny city of Young Harris in northern Georgia near the Chattahoochee National Forest.
National.
Yeah. That's more than 600 miles from Ogden Dunes, where her love of protecting the Indiana dunes had been born and developed. She's buried next to her brother.
But the story does not end there. Shirley Heinze would be proud to know what happened next.
After her passing, friends of Shirley Heinze, Robert and Betty Lou Seidner from Chicago, decided to leave $30,000 in her memory. And that's how the Shirley Heinze Land Trust got its start in 1981, with a mission of permanently protecting the land around the southern Lake Michigan watershed.
And in addition to the large donation to start the Shirley Heinze Foundation, Mrs. Sedner established the Robert L. Sedner Cancer Research Foundation at Stanford University.
All of Shirley Heinze Land Trust properties are held in trust for public benefit, but some of them have sensitive conservation values that require limited access. Others cannot be accessed without intruding on adjacent properties.
And for this video, we visited 8 sites. So our first stop is Baroque Woods in Hobart, Indiana. It's a really easy hike with wildlife sightings, beautiful bur oak trees, and other native plants, and it has 1.78 miles of trail.
Native Americans paused beneath bur oak trees while hunting. Bears, cougars, elk, wolves, and bison were also in this area hundreds of years ago. And then the settlers cleared the farms nearby. Yet these amazing old trees survive to this day.
And our second stop was Meadowbrook Nature Preserve in Liberty Township, which is in Porter County, Indiana. It is a former Girl Scout camp.
And it was an easy hike through the woods, wetlands, streams, and prairie. There's a lot of habitat there for migrating birds and bats. There's an outdoor amphitheater and a lodge, as well as the office for the Shirley Heinze Land Trust. If you're there, stop in and get a guidebook, maps, and just say hi. And there's 4 miles of trails.
And it was just so beautiful when you're heading into the woods to look down the ravine into the streams below. And our third stop, which was my personal favorite, is Lydic Bog. It's in Warren Township. That is in St. Joseph County, Indiana.
And it was an easy, partially handicapped, accessible trail that went from the field into the woods and into the bog. There's also a more advanced trail that goes up and down with views of ravines. It's about 1.4 miles of trail.
And this is one of the last remaining bog habitats in Indiana. The area was carved by glaciers. So we're halfway through our exciting road trip, and this is one we've been really looking forward to. It's the Lydic Bog. And we're getting ready to take our hike on
the boardwalk.
The Bog Boardwalk.
And it's awesome. This trail is a very easy trail. It's crushed rock, and then there are little bridges like this as well. So if you have mobility issues, you can still come out here and enjoy it.
And if you're in a wheelchair, it is wheelchair accessible.
Yeah.
Come on out. All right, here we go. We're going to go take a look at the bog. It's one of the few remaining bogs left in northwest Indiana, or northern Indiana, I should say. It's absolutely beautiful out here.
Lots of native species. You can hear the birdies chirping.
Yes, we have seen some monarchs and some other butterflies.
This is a beautiful place to visit.
It's 175 acres. There's about 2 miles worth of trail. And it's just outside of South Bend in a little town called Lydic. Okay, this is the Lydic Bog. This is thousands of years in the making. It was carved by glaciers.
It's really cool.
Lots of unique wildlife. Some carnivorous plants. At one point, there were glaciers that were 1 mile high in this area. You can imagine that. So now we're on the loop trail at Lydic Bog. This is a little bit rougher terrain than the bog boardwalk. You most certainly won't be able to get a wheelchair through here or anything like that.
No, there's a few ups and downs and some roots, but it's still a pretty solid trail.
It's gorgeous.
So anyone with a little bit of ability can get through this. It's not tough. This is cute. And wear your bug spray.
Yes. And don't touch any plants because there is poison sumac back here. But the trail is pretty well kept and very peaceful back here.
Yep.
So we just finished this hike at Lydic Bog. It took us about an hour to get through. We saw lots of monarch butterflies, other butterflies, dragonflies, cute little chipmunk, lots of wildflowers, bumblebees. I'd say it took us a good hour to get through. We did take our time and look around and stuff like that. And when you're done with your hike, you can sit down in the pavilion and have a nice picnic.
Nice place. Visit.
And number 4 was Ambler Flat Woods in Michigan City, Indiana.
This park travels across several roads and has 2 parking lot entrances, so you can kind of get in a few different ways. It was an easy hike, and there are 4 miles of trails.
It's mostly forest. You can definitely hear the frogs chirping. You can see moss covering the ground and mushrooms. And our 5th stop was Beverly Shores, another one of my favorites. Probably not as favorite as the Lydic Bog, but definitely a very favorite spot of mine. It's the Great Marsh, and it's located in Beverly Shores, Indiana.
And this is one of the areas that the Shirley Heinze trust sites are mostly accessible only through private property. There aren't really a lot of trails there through the Shirley Heinze, but there are a couple great trails, including the Calumet Trail and the Indiana Dunes National Park Great Marsh Trail. So just a beautiful area. Drive around, check it out, and check out those trails.
And this is a designated stop on the Chicago Region Birding Trail, and it's been recognized as an important bird area by the National Audubon Society.
Pretty cool.
And our 6th stop was at the Miller Dunes, the Bayless Dune, and that is in Gary, Indiana.
And this one you get to hike through a dunes trail. There are some parcels scattered through the Miller neighborhood in Gary. It's about a 1/4 mile. Some of the sites provide a good example of the diversity found in the high dunes region, including dry oak forest, blowouts, wetlands, and ravines.
And our 7th stop is Ivanhoe South Nature Preserve, also located in Gary, Indiana.
And this is another easy hike. It goes through dune and swale landscapes, and it has a nice picnic area. It is 0.6 miles for the loop, and you can listen to the frogs chirp. There's snapping turtles that dig their nests in the sand, usually around Memorial Day, so lots of wildlife.
Yes.
Very pretty. Our number 8 and last stop of the day is actually a brand new park that is going in New Chicago, Indiana.
It is located along the Deep River. I don't think it's decided exactly what is going to be done with the property. Some things that have been discussed is a boat launch, a community garden, a park, several things. There's actually a survey if you'd like to take part of it, and we'll link that below.
Awesome. Okay, so we hope that you enjoyed our tour. Definitely get outside and check some of these places out.
Yeah, most of all of these places that we visited and more have very nice, easy hiking trails, picnic shelters. It would be a really great place to take the family for the day, a half day. If you're just looking to get outside to have a nice picnic and get some exercise, definitely check out the Shirley Heinze website.
Yeah, you can download their brochure that tells about every single spot. Or if you stop at the Valparaiso location, they will give you a booklet as well.
Yes, so get out there and enjoy nature. There's a lot more in northern Indiana to do than you think.
Stay spooky!
Stay spooky!